Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's presentation, quick and easy ways to acquire new customers for your virtual brand. I want to give a quick shout out to my team here at Branded Strategic. We're actually in the Branded Strategic office today for helping us to promote this webinar, which might be how you found out this to begin with. I also want to thank Targetable for having me come in and co-host this with them. Andrew, I'm stoked. Now, we're going to be on here, let's say 30 or 35 minutes, John and Peter and Sean and Dennis, okay? And this is going to be great, okay? We promise, both Andrew and myself, we all are promising you that you will learn proven tactics that will drive awareness and orders to your virtual brand. Now, if you haven't done this yet, like Dennis has or Jamie, please open up the chat. Let us know where you're dialing in from. We just want to make sure that you can hear. That's all we're doing. So John and Peter and whoever the 972 is and Sean and everybody else, open up the chat. Let us know where you're dialing in from as we start to get in here. Okay, so number of reasons why you want to stay to the end. We got some killer content here. It's going to be awesome. I hope you're ready to do some screenshots and notes. We're going to literally give you like 5 tactics that you're going to employ today. So don't leave because you want to get that content. Also, we are going to go fast. You're busy. We're busy. We want to get this to you as quickly as possible. You're going to have questions. So stay until the end so that you can ask those questions. If you have questions while we're going through it, just put them in the Q&A and pop them up. All right, Jim, just pop up any questions you have and we'll answer them at the end. Now, last reason you want to stay to the end is we have a gift for you, okay? We got a special bonus that if you stay to the end, we're going to give to you. And I guarantee it's going to help your business. You're going to love this thing, okay? So please stay to the end. Super important. All right. Now, let's talk about our goal for the webinar. We got one goal here today, okay? And that's to show you some proven tactics that's going to drive awareness and orders for your virtual brand, okay? I don't want you to have any more guesswork. Andrew here is not looking to, leave you with wondering what to do, okay? There's no more waiting for word of mouth to kick in or for third-party apps to drip feed you new guests that you then later have to convert, okay? This is about getting proven tactics that's going to drive awareness and orders to your virtual brand, okay, Donna? Now, if you have not met Andrew Nash yet, please allow me to introduce him. He's the CEO of Targetable. Hi, Andrew. How are you?
All good, Rip.
God bless. Andrew is a serial entrepreneur with over 25 years experience in e-commerce, digital marketing, analytics, and he's an 8-time CEO. Now, this is not the first webinar we've done and not the first time I've challenged him to make it 9. So, Andrew, what's up, buddy? Come on.
I get there.
All right.
We'll get there. I got plenty of gas in the tank.
All right. Well, Andrew has led technology enterprises, including multiple startups in US, Europe, Asia, South America, Australia, New Zealand. He served on the boards for multiple early stage technology companies and is the founder and CEO of Upover Ventures. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Ciancio. I own a burger joint in here in New York City. It's actually a couple blocks that way. And I know exactly how hard it is to market and brand a location-based business. It's also not my first time I own a bar. I used to own a bar that way. I'm a hospitality marketing consultant, and I help restaurants to raise awareness, acquire, and retain customers through digital marketing, social media, and the use of incredible software. I have more than 20 years experience in branding, digital marketing, hospitality, and I literally have worked with hundreds of restaurants to help them attract and retain guests. Okay, today though, we are here to talk about how to get an effective and inexpensive way to easily institute a scalable acquisition marketing program. We want you to be easy to get new guests to your virtual brand. Now, Bob, Chris, Dennis, Donna, Jamie, Jim, John, Kevin, Peter, Sean, and everybody else on here, I want you to open up the chat and tell us where you're dialing in from. I need to know this is working before we get in here. Also, we're going to ask for participation. There'll be moments where I'm going to ask you to put your hand up or say yes in the chat or go heck yeah. And I want to make sure that you got the chat open and you are ready. Jim's here in New York. We got the Gulf Shores for Donna, rainy California, Mr. Nash, the other Nash, that is. Kevin, all the way from Spokane. All right, you guys can hear me. You ready to go? Everybody's ready to go? Let's go. Okay, Andrew, quiz. Any idea what these brands have in common? I mean, other than they have lots of units and likely big marketing budgets.
Absolutely. Every single one of these brands has a virtual brand, operates out of virtual kitchens and or ghost kitchens, and have been doing it for quite some time as well, not just recent. I'll chime in on the next one and tell you that none of these brands have been doing it the longest time ever. And I'll give you a quick hint on who's been doing it for the longest, but every single one of these has a virtual brand and virtual kitchens.
No, that is the correct answer, everybody. Give one to Andrew. We'll get you some points for that later. Every one of these brands has either another brand that they own that does not have a brick and mortar location, or that you can order their food delivered to town where they don't have an actual storefront. Okay, super important here. Now, Andrew, can you do us a favor and give us a quick explanation of the difference between all of these things?
Yeah, and for those who are paying attention on the last slide, if you hadn't noticed, at least 40 or 50% of them were actually wing brands as well. So I don't know about you, but love wings, but I'm not sure how many of them I can order from. The variety is insane, by the way, and they're fabulous. We have a number of our clients there. There's a lot of confusing concepts around what the particular kitchens or kitchen concepts are. The best place to start is a virtual brand. A virtual brand is simply a brand that exists that can be either cooked, prepared, and delivered from a single location. That may actually be a brick and mortar that the brand actually owns, or it may be a brick and mortar location that they don't own, which is generally known as a ghost kitchen or another location where it's actually cooked and delivered from. The big difference between virtual and ghost is that ghost kitchens are typically a large or larger facility that might have multiple kitchens or multiple stands in the facility, and are typically delivery only. There may be 10, 20, 30, 40 different kitchens or brands in that location, and are typically delivery only. Said differently, you can't make a reservation on Open Table and turn up there and have white linen table service. Now, there are also variants between each of these as well. A dark kitchen is a variant of a ghost kitchen. The virtual brands can also be the same offering, but just branded differently depending on market, concept, or location as well. So any wonder there's a little bit of confusion, but the variants are now still being rolled out and still being changed and switched up in the market. So you're seeing very innovative new offerings such as Reef Kitchens, who are now putting shipping container or drop shipping a container into a car park as a kitchen, and putting those in unused facility, unused car parks in and around the country. So short answer, there's a lot of different types, but it's largely associated with the virtual brand, which is not the same brand that you buy. As you saw earlier, if it was Chuck E. Cheese, it was Pasquale's Pizza. So sometimes they're trying to create the affinity with the brand. Sometimes they're trying to separate the brand.
Cool. So the question here now is, why are these things all the rage? Well, I want you guys to hear or read what the CEO of Fat Brands had to say. This is like Fat Burger and all the other brands over there. He said, franchisees, okay, those are the people that license their business to own, one of their locations, are making a couple of thousands of dollars a week in incremental sales. So this is on top of the sales that they're regularly doing. And he said that really adds up. Okay, that's another $100,000 or more a year in sales from those virtual restaurant brands. We would probably all agree we would love an additional $100,000 a year, right? Okay, it's pretty enticing. Well, here's the thing. Okay, now I know we're at the end of 2021, but I wanted to bring the stat up for a reason. Okay, this was from mid-year, is that revenue in the online food delivery segment was projected to reach 28 million in 2021. Okay, which means delivery is big. Okay, but delivery here is where we're going. It's where it's getting really big, and the signs are that this number may actually be small. But revenue is expected to show an annual growth rate of 4.3. That's going to get us into a market volume of 32 million by 2024. And do you think that's probably short at this point?
I'm thinking that's 32 billion for what it's worth. 32.3 billion. Yeah. So look, I think it's incredible. I also want to go back to one of my earlier comments and say that delivery, while there's a lot of hype in the recent years, the past 2 or 3 years or so, it's not a new concept. One of the largest ghost kitchens, or the longest ghost kitchens running in this country is Domino's. Domino's is essentially a ghost kitchen that's been doing delivery for the better part of 30, 40, or 50 years now, since it was originally, pop quiz here, originally Dominick's in 1960, and it was renamed Domino's in 1965, and has been playing this game for a long time. So it's not a recent invention. It's just that we're now accelerating.
Amen. Well, here's the thing, guys. The market's largest segment is restaurant to consumer delivery. What does that mean? It means people ordering directly from the restaurant. It is a bigger segment than Grubhub, DoorDash, or Uber Eats. People ordering directly from the restaurant, okay? And it means that things are going in the right way, okay? People are switching from third-party apps and instead of ordering directly from the restaurants, which is a good sign for virtual brands because you're doing it to maximize revenue, okay? Now, here's the thing. This is from Euromonitor International. We'll bring this up for a reason, okay? Ghost kitchens are facilities that produce food for delivery could create a $1 trillion opportunity for food delivery in the next decade. Okay, now I'm bad at math, but I think that sounds like a lot of money. Part of that growth is being fueled by these virtual brands. So it stands to reason, right? If you have more than one digital storefront, you can capture more of the share of stomach, right? Now, let's bring it right here in our backyard. And Andrew, you're the one that brought this up to me, right? The ghost kitchens, this is where we're $43 billion industry in 2019. This is almost going to double, right? This is, in fact, that number even may be short. We have no idea, right?
No, we don't. And I think this is, what we're watching is not just, the acceleration of the trend. We're actually seeing variants on the trend, and frankly, some exciting new concepts and exciting new ways to actually reach consumers and actually to reiterate your point, to capture more share of stomach here.
God bless. Well, guys, okay, I want to read another quote for you here, okay? Based on the success of companies like Brinker International, which expects to generate 150 million in annual sales from their brand, okay? Their senior analyst at Credit Suisse predicts that the major chains will continue to experiment with online-only offerings, meaning we have not seen the end. There is way more of this coming. Now, you've sat through this so far. You're looking at what the opportunity is. You're thinking about this. Everybody wants one of these, right? We want a virtual brand. We want to maximize our spend, our space, our time, our energy. It's clear that these things are not going anywhere but up, okay? Soon you're going to see one in every virtual corner of every virtual block. I guarantee it, okay? However, it is not all rainbows and unicorns. I guess since this is the restaurant biz, it's not all rainbows and rainbow bagels and unicorn frappes, okay? Now check this quote out. While the off-premise market is booming, okay, delivery, especially during this time, no brand can simply start up delivery and takeout and expect it to be a huge immediate success, okay? And this is coming from Kitchen United Chief Operating Officer, okay? She stated here, right? Restaurants need a planned strategy that will allow them to draw and engage customers while also executing off-premise smoothly. What does that mean? It means you need marketing. You can't just turn it on.
And Rev, the key point here in terms of marketing 101 is if you are launching a brand, which is the majority of the virtual brands, because you're being launched either for the first time as a new brand or in a new region, you've got to lean in heavily with your marketing and actually create some awareness for the brand so you can lean in. So this is one of the things that is probably the most critical part of actually getting a virtual brand or a virtual kitchen into the market. And more importantly, even if you're a ghost kitchen, how do you actually generate demand for multiple brands that are operating inside of your facility? Are you doing that on their behalf? Are you doing that with them? So there's a whole series of new marketing techniques that need to be deployed to actually get the brand to come to life and to be out there in the market.
I want you guys to jump in the chat and say yes or heck yeah, or I want you to put your hand up. Who wants a virtual brand, or who has a virtual brand that they want to be more successful? Who is like excited about this idea? I'm assuming that if you're on this webinar, you're excited about this idea and looking to how to maximize the opportunity. Yeah, Kevin is saying booyah. Here comes the hands and the heck yes. All right, agreed. Okay, but here now we have the problem. How do we market this? How do we acquire the new guests? How do we get customers in? All right, Andrew, look, I'm sure that people can figure out how to cook the food and come up with a name and do the menu and all that stuff. We're operations, we knew that, okay? But we have pain points now. How do you drive the traffic? How do you get orders? I mean, what do you think here? What do the pain points look like?
Well, I think you've kind of nailed them here. One of the things that I observed for the past many years is a lot of marketing dollars actually goes into what I call the loyalty and retention, or the recency and frequency side. Once I've got a customer, now I continue to market to them. The biggest challenge is that awareness is actually hard. It can be done, but you've got to have a very deliberate plan. You've got to have a very clear plan of attack, and you've got to execute. You also got to understand how to drive traffic as well. One of the challenging scenarios is in the social platforms, they're looking for a brick and mortar presence to attach to. And there are some interesting tips and traps as if you're a ghost kitchen that's got 25 brands being delivered out of that location, how do you market that and do geo-targeting on a 3, 5, or 10 mile radius for the delivery radius? There's some interesting challenges, and in some sense, some of the business models haven't really caught up with what the digital capabilities can actually deliver on. So you've got to actually massage the gap. And then the challenge is just turning on third-party orders means that if someone's searching for pizza or wings locally, how do you present yourself at the top of the list? And if they get 60 concepts or 60 restaurants back, how are you going to, how are you going to win on that particular scenario? So you need to not rely on just any one of those techniques, and you've got to sort of lean in, and we'll talk through techniques that will actually work here.
So guys, the point here is that this is not easy. Okay, it's easy to come up with a name and a logo and a menu and a concept, but getting acquisition is really hard, right? Everybody agree? This is pretty hard. Okay, well, we got a couple of secrets for you. Okay, it is hard. It is definitely hard. It's especially hard if you don't have the roadmap. It's hard if you don't know where to send the ships. Okay, it's hard without someone to at least like point you in the right direction. Okay, but we're here to tell you that it's not hard. Okay, we're here to give you the roadmap. We're here to tell you where to send the ships, and we're here to point you in the right direction. Okay, Andrew and I are going to show you some secrets today, and if you implement these things into your efforts starting today, okay, we'll show you proven tactics that's going to drive awareness to your virtual brand. Okay, we're going to show you that orders are ready at your fingertips. Okay, it's written that way for a reason. You'll see why in a minute. Okay, we're also going to show you that there is an army of people who are already willing to help you with this brand. Okay, and lastly, we're going to show you that there's an easy button for local awareness, and booyah, it works in your sleep or while you're having coffee with your friends. Okay, or while you're doing your operation. Okay, who's ready? You guys ready? You can put your hand up. You can say yes in the chat. You guys excited? Does this sound good? Okay. I know I'm excited. We know these things work. I'm excited to show you. Oh, Kevin says yes. John, Dennis, all the hands going up. All right, guys, here, let's get into this. Okay. So let's rip into this. You're about to learn quick and easy ways to acquire new customers for your virtual brand, which sounds great, right? Okay. We're going to show you some proven tactics that are going to drive awareness and orders to your virtual brand. We're going to go through each one of these 5 points, and we're going to show you some tips on how to execute. So let's do number 1. Here we go. All right, social media. And you're like, yeah, Rev, of course social media is important, right? But this is a new brand, and like we don't have any followers yet. I get it. I totally get it. Okay. But what are those? What is that red arrow pointing to right there? Okay, those are followers. I know, let me guess. You're trying to keep the two brands separate. I'm not sure why people make this decision. Maybe you aren't, but I would submit that if you have a strong brand with customers that already love you, why wouldn't they love the new thing that you're doing? Why wouldn't you want them to check out your new menu that you've released? Okay. Even if you give it a new name, you give it a new brand, it's really just a new menu, isn't it? I mean, that's really it is. It's come from the same people, but it's a new menu. Okay. I can tell you for sure that if one of my restaurant that I love, launched a virtual brand, I would be excited about it. In fact, I can guarantee that was the case. Because the minute that I heard that 5 Napkin Burger, which is an awesome brand here in New York City, was launching a hot wing concept called Wings by Chef Picky, I was like, I need to eat there right away. That needs to go right on my list. Let's go right to the top. Okay. When other 5 Napkin Burger fans found out about them too, right, they wanted to go get some of those wings too, right? In fact, right, it felt even cooler. I felt like I was in on a secret. Right? I felt like this brand that I love was already doing this cool thing, and like I'm an insider now, and I'm gonna go make a silly face on Instagram. But the point was, I wanted to eat them. Okay, you should be leveraging the followers and guests and the fans that you already have by marketing your virtual brand to your current guests. You know why? Because they're gonna love it, right, Andrew?
Absolutely, they are.
All right. Let's get into tip number 2. I said we were going to go fast. Okay. So while we're talking about your current customers and promoting them, how else can we do that? How else can we cross-sell the people that already know your brand, that are already in your CRM, that already follow you on social media, that already love you? Somebody who has already dined with your brand. How do we promote and market to them? Well, if you're going to promote on social, what should you do? You should email them. You're like, Rev, we already read that bullet point. I'm like, great. Okay, that's what I wanted you to do. Okay. Now, what would be a good way to get their attention? How do you get people, when you send that email, how do you get them to take action? How do you convert them? Okay, send them a promotion. What about a sign-up reward? Okay, give them a free item. Offer them free delivery or a discount on their first order. Okay, you have to incentivize them the same way you would in trying to get someone to stop ordering from third party or order direct instead. You do the discount, you do a free delivery. Andrew, would you, if Andy's Pizza emailed you and said they launched tacos, would you be all over that?
Absolutely, absolutely.
And if they gave you a coupon, would you go faster?
Absolutely, that would help me. That would absolutely help me. But I think the key point here is, this isn't too much of a stretch to actually understand what we're doing here. Because if you were launching a brand new store in a brand new location, you wish you actually had a list of people to go and target, right? In this particular case, you actually have the list of people you can go and target. It's first party data. You're not breaching anything because you already have a connection with your brand, and now you can leverage that ability to go and connect with them and see if you can get some signups. And I can tell you, this actually works. We do this on a regular basis.
Yeah, Peter, Sean, Tiffany, how many people are on your current list? If you emailed them right now, would they be curious to try your new thing? I'm going to guess all of them or most of them. And the idea here is if you give them an incentive, they will move faster. So this is really like a double tip. Okay. So that's two. Okay. That's two. Let's talk three. I said we're going to go fast. We're going fast, right? Everybody screenshotting this, taking. Okay. So we're talking about converting followers you already have on social media. We're talking about emailing your current guests. Okay. While we're talking about your customers and specifically the email list, you know, will be another great way to average that asset, a list of your current customers to help you drive awareness for your virtual brand. Okay. Now that we're promoting on social media, we're emailing our guests. How else can we make finding other people just like them who would like your brand? Andrew, do us a favor and please tell our friends, what is a lookalike audience and what is a custom audience and how to use it?
Yeah, sure. So a lookalike or custom audience, I think you want to kick to the next slide here, and I'll explain it to you. Is we just talked about the first party data that you already own with your brand, with your email list. And I'll use that as a good example. And you probably know some interesting facts about this, like this particular customer has spent more than $500, or this particular group of customers have spent, X amount of dollars in the past 30, 60, or 90 days, etc. You already have what's called segmentation data that you can then go and target or retarget. So the beauty of you having that first party data is you can actually then upload that into Facebook as what's called a lookalike audience. If you can aggregate a segment, take essentially just the email address and or phone number, if you've got phone number there, mobile phone number there, with very little data, you can then say to the Facebook engines, go and get me other people that look like these type of people. Okay. And you can do that down into individual segments or customized or otherwise. But essentially the way the Facebook algorithms and engines work is that it will say, because first of all, pretty much if you haven't been reading the press lately, Facebook knows everything about us. And it has all of the data, and it's going to go and match people like us. And if we specify a geo-targeted area within 3 to 5 miles of the restaurant, and this particular this particular age demographic and interest demographic, it's say, I got it. I'll go and get more like that to actually market to directly. Now, a lot of folks talk to me about, we could also do this other thing with the data. And a basic rule I have with Facebook is you will never out-algorithm the algorithm. Just feed it your data. Tell it this is the sort of people who come and buy here. You say, gotcha. I'll be back soon. Let me go target some people who look like that. Now, you can also do custom things and actually take some of that data and go and retarget some individuals who we know that, like, here's a very simple example. If I've got a third or a fourth virtual brand, I can go and see who signed up for the first 1 or 2 virtual brands. And I'm actually absolutely going to go and retarget those individuals because they have additional brand affinity with me. And they've already said, I like this and I want to opt in. Well, I'm going to go get them for the third and the fourth. And when they do a cool donut concept out of the store, and then when we do a cool, a cool rice concept out of it, let's go get them on each of those virtual brands as well. So that's the new world. We're using data to accelerate the marketing process.
Let me ask this question, Andrew. Let's say that I have a restaurant or a virtual brand in like New York City, and I'm opening in DC. Can I pull my guest data from New York City, put it into Facebook and say, hey, find people like this in DC? Like, can I look alike like that as well?
Yes, you can. Yeah, yes, you can. You can, and there are different ways to do that, but ultimately it depends on what the particular attributes or demographics or segments you're looking at. But yeah, absolutely you can. It turns out that with a large enough statistical data set, when you have billions of users on the platform, you can figure that out. Yep.
Pretty awesome. All right, guys. So we're gonna talk to our current followers on social media. We're gonna email our current guests. We're gonna give them a sign-up offer, an incentive offer. Okay. We're gonna go use that data to target and retarget with Facebook ads. Okay. While you're promoting your virtual brands and you're doing all these things, okay, what else could you do that's good and easy? Well, you can automate your awareness, and we'll get to that means in a second. Okay. Look, posting to social media takes a lot of time. Who thinks social media takes a lot of time? I run 7 accounts. It takes a lot of time. Okay. You have to think of what to post. Everybody's hand just went up. Receive hands. Yes, forever. Okay. You have to think of what you want to post. You have to get the right photo. You got to edit the right video. And now we have TikTok. We actually have to be funny and entertaining. right? You got to pick out the hashtags and you have to engage with the followers. Like, it's a ton of work. Okay. And that's also why a lot of restaurants don't do it. Or if they do a poor job, because it is hard and it takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And even after you've done all that, okay, it takes a lot of time to build a local audience. Okay. Typically people don't actually follow a restaurant or on Instagram unless they've actually already eaten there or they plan to, right? Which means it's bottom of the funnel, right? It's not even about awareness. Okay. That means that all of that effort is not good at getting you new guests. Okay. It's about retention. That's what social media is for. Okay. And we're here to talk about awareness. How do you get new guests? So how do we get awareness on social media? How do you connect to people that live or work near whatever your service area is for your virtual brand? How do you get them to find you when they're scrolling through Instagram? Okay, you do that with Facebook and Instagram advertising. Okay, now that's a whole other level of difficulty we've introduced. Okay, so how do you alleviate that? How do you make it easier to have these social ads? Okay, how can you actually use social media to gain awareness? Does anybody know? I do. I think Andrew probably knows. Okay. You have to automate it. Automating it makes it easy. Now we're going to show you what sea of hands. Sea of hands goes up. All right. What does that mean? Okay. If you want to gain local awareness, you use Instagram and Facebook advertising. It's an affordable way to have your content flying around Instagram, popping up in the feeds of people that live or work near your service area or stores, right? And are interested in the type of food you're serving. And like, for no joke, pennies an impression, maybe even less than pennies an impression, you can have ads work to help people discover your restaurant. Okay. And if you don't want to learn how to do the ads, you just do not want to take the time to manage your ads account. I don't. Okay. And you don't want to shell the big bucks for a big agency. Again, I don't. Okay. You automate your Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, how do you do that? Who wants to know? I'll bet everybody here. Bob, you want to know? Chris, you want to know? Donna, want to know? There's some hands that are just staying up here. Okay. Now, you guys know that I like technology. I consider myself a tech evangelist. And when I know tech will help you work smarter, go faster, and achieve results, I'm going to make some suggestions to you to use it. Okay. You guys should check out Targetable. It's incredible. I use it for my own restaurant. Okay. Targetable makes the headache of Facebook and Instagram ads really, really easy, and it's really affordable. They create the ads for you, and all you have to do is go in and tweak them. It's super easy. Maybe you don't want your ads running on a Friday night because you're already busy, or you want to optimize for clicks for your online ordering, right? That's what we're here for. You can do that. And when you promote a post, you can't do that. You can't do that at all, right? But you can do it with Targetable. Okay. I know lots of restaurants who only need like 15 or 20 minutes a week to tweak their managed awareness ads. And, for like 10 to 12 bucks a day, they're getting all this local awareness. Okay. Targetable takes your audience, like we talked about. It takes your data, your content, and it creates the ads for you based on your goals, which what do we want to do? Drive online orders. Okay. If you want to automate your local awareness marketing, you through Instagram and Facebook, okay, get Targetable. Okay. I'm happy to make an introduction. Andrew's right here. You can also ask him a question. If you want the easy button, I'm telling you, to grow a local following, the easy button is Targetable. That's it. All right, guys. I said we got 5 things for you. We were going to go fast. Okay. So while we're promoting to your guests on social media, while we're emailing them, you've turned your email list into a lookalike audience. You're going to automate your ads with Targetable. How else can you easily acquire new customers for a virtual brand? Anybody want to read the screen? It's influencer marketing. Okay. These are people that live or work near your store or your service area, who have an audience of people who listen to their recommendations. Maybe they're on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or whatever. Okay, these people can let those people who follow them know about your restaurant, about your virtual brand, and by the simple act of sharing, your restaurant will get awareness from other people. Now, many influencers will come in and try your food, and in exchange for a free meal, you don't have to pay them. Like, they're happy to come eat, right? They love food. Okay. So wow them with your food, wow them with the customer service, right? And that will in turn, they'll go wow their followers. Okay. But influencers did not just mean people like me or my pal Eileen here. Okay. Anyone, Andrew, say it, anyone.
Anyone.
Okay. Anyone that has a platform or audience is an influencer. The fire chief. People trust the fire chief, okay? The mayor, she probably talks to a lot of people. The principal, school teachers, they have people that listen to them all day, okay? You know who knows a lot of people? The police force, okay? These are people in your town that know everyone. What about the nail salon, okay? Hey, where should I go eat after this, okay? Here's the thing. People will have probably come to your restaurant after they got a haircut and they got recommended by the barbershop, okay? These people have influence and they talk to people who are hungry and eat every day. Okay. Make nice with these people. Andrew, can we make nice with some of these people?
We can. And I think more importantly, don't just stop there. I think one of the things is really understand your hyperlocal community. And I give you a good example. I live in the Northern Virginia area, just outside of DC, and there's an incredible Facebook group called Vienna Foodies. And what you'll find is there's also a New York Foodies group. There's a Boston Foodies group. And while they won't let restaurants promote in there, if you can attach to the individual influencers and followers who do have influence in there, you can actually just reach out to them. So it's the easiest way to actually try and find, you don't necessarily have to go and work with an influencer agency to go and find these individuals. You can see them, you can find them, and you can, access them and make them offers and get them to talk about you. And I think, part of this is you've got to let the community and the social mechanisms do the work for you, and they absolutely will.
Yeah, find these people, send them a tray of pasta, send them some cookies, give them some coupons, right? Get friendly with these community leaders. All of these people order and eat food, and oftentimes they also do it for large groups, okay? So what we're trying to do is get you expand the idea of what an influencer is, okay? Make these people aware of your virtual brand, and they will help you build your business, okay?
So,
all right.
So to be clear, Rev, it's not just guys with Hawaiian shirts and Kangol hats and
fidget spinners,
pizza and spinners. Okay, I just want to clarify that. Okay, good.
I couldn't agree more. Listen, I live in a town, and I don't think I'm the biggest influencer there. I think the police chief is, and the mayor, right, and the person that runs our local Facebook group. So I want to help a restaurant. I ask them to do it. I get it. Okay. But listen, guys, now you know some proven tactics that will drive awareness and orders for virtual brand. Okay, there's no more guesswork. There's no more wondering what to do. No more waiting for word of mouth to kick in for third-party apps to drip feed you a couple guests. Then still you got to convert. Okay. You now have proven tactics, social media, email, lookalike audiences, how to automate your awareness for targetable, and how to do influencer marketing. Okay. Listen, I promise that by the end of this webinar, you would know quick and easy ways to acquire new customers for a virtual brand. I think we got there. Did we get there? You think we got there, Andrew?
Yes, we did.
God bless. Okay. Everybody here is way more equipped. So please, what I want you to do now is open up the Q&A and put in your questions. Like I said, I know we went fast. I know we threw a lot at you real fast. Put in the Q&A. We'll get to those in a second. Okay. Now, while you're entering your questions in the Q&A, we have a couple of things to talk about, including that special gift that we promised. Okay. As far as the replay of this presentation, once we get the video of this webinar uploaded, Targetable is going to send you an email so you can watch the replay. That way you can review all the materials and get all the information. Does that sound good? Sounds good? All right. Now, I see some questions already coming in the Q&A. Just keep popping those in the Q&A. Before we do that, I get to ask a question. It's my turn to ask a question, okay? We just spent 32 minutes or so together. I don't like to be specific, but I was. I think it's been a good experience. We had a lot of fun. I taught you a whole bunch of cool things. I know we sent super fast and threw a lot at you. And we promised that you would learn how to acquire new customers for your virtual brand. But I got a question, okay? I know a way how to make this much, much, much easier for you. And you kind of already know what it is, but I just want to ask your permission. Are you guys okay if I take a minute to go deeper on something that would make this a heck of a lot easier? You can put your hand up. You can say yes in the chat. I just want to get your permission. If you want me to show you how to go it easier, do I have your permission? Kevin's on it. Jim's on it. Dennis, Jim, John. All right. I don't like to proceed without getting permission, okay? As always, you guys know that I believe in tech, and I'm going to tell you when it would accelerate your business. You guys really should check out Targetable, okay? It's going to make your Instagram and Facebook awareness efforts really, really easy, especially if you work so hard to create that incredible content. I've seen lots and lots of restaurants have success with this. They turn it on. It takes a few minutes a week, right, to manage, and voila, you got those ads, targeting logos all the time. Now, I said I have a question, so I'm going to share a poll with you guys. Looks like, Andrew, I cannot fire the poll. Are you able to fire the poll on your side? There it is. One question is, do you want to learn more about Targetable? Okay. Now, there are 4 ways that you can answer this question. There's number 1, you go, yes, I want to try more online orders. You can be like, nope, I'm going to take the slow road. Maybe the timing's not right on this. Listen, we do these webinars all the time, and lots of Targetable users come back just to learn more tips and tricks. You might be already using Targetable. So you can say, hey guys, I already have Targetable. You can also say, I'm one of those people that uses an expensive agency. Look, sometimes ad work is very complicated. Sometimes you really need complicated solutions. Maybe you have a super gigantic budget and an agency makes sense. We get that, okay? But the question is here is, do you simply want to learn more about Targetable? Do you have some other questions, or would you like to see a demo, or would you like to learn a question? Here's what's going to happen. If you go, yeah, I want to drive more online orders, we're going to put you in touch with somebody at Targetable. You can get on the phone. You can ask any questions you want and figure out if it's the right thing for you or you're not. I guarantee it is, but that's going to happen. Andrew, how are we looking on the votes over there?
Looking pretty good. We're getting lots of response here. We're getting lots of, yes, I would like to drive more online orders.
All right, God bless. That's typically the number one answer when we do this. Now, guys, listen, because you attended this webinar and because you stayed to the end and because you're a winner, because you're here to play your A game, I got Targetable to agree to give you 1/3 off your first month. Okay, that's right. All you have to do is say you're interested in here, that you want to learn some more. And if you decide is the right thing for you, we'll put you in touch. You make that decision, you're going to get 1/3 off your first month. Okay, sound good? So we're going to ask the question one more time here is, do you simply want to learn more about Targetable? You can go, yep, I need to learn how to drive more online orders and make this super easy. You could be, I'm going to take the slow road. You could be like, you already use Targetable, and we thank you for coming and joining us today. We thank all of you, but especially the people that are already using Targetable. And you can say, I have an expensive agency. Andrew, what's the number one answer?
Yes, I would like to drive more online orders.
Awesome. I love smart people. Guys, if you want to pull down the poll, Andrew, thank you. Guys, if you did say yes, we will put you in touch with somebody at Targetable, and you can ask all those questions, okay? Now, moving on about the free gift that we promised you. If you stay to the end, well, here you go. You are getting an ebook from Targetable called Have You Started a Virtual Brand for Your Restaurant? Probably at this point in the webinar, a little rhetorical, but this is going to show you how to use your existing assets. It's going to go deeper than we went today on the webinar. It's going to show you easy ways to manage all of your brands. It's going to show you some best practice for virtual brands. So it's going to take the material we talked about today and it's going to give you more. Okay. So once the recording of this webinar has been edited and uploaded, Targetable is going to send you an email with a link to view the recording and download this very, very helpful ebook. Does that sound awesome? I think that sounds awesome. I think it sounds awesome. All right, let's get into some Q&A. Again, if you have Q&A, if you got a question, please don't pop it in the chat. Open up the Q&A function. Put your question here. We'll answer as many as we can. Again, we promise we'll be here 30, 35 minutes. We're kind of past that mark. I don't want to take up much of your time, but if you have a question, this is your opportunity to ask it. So looks like we have some questions in here, Andrew. Kevin is asking, is there a recommended monthly spend on social media? You want to take that one?
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a great question. And one of the things that the way I respond is what you start with is you don't just go in all guns blazing. We like to start with a smaller budget to figure out what works, to understand, to test, and then we dial it up. We've seen budgets as low as $200 or $300 per month, all the way up to in the $500-600 per month in ad spend, and also in situations where we're doing launching. And we just launched a brand recently, I think in Bryant Park, New York, a great one, if I recall correctly. Wasn't that Handcraft Burgers and Brew, if I recall?
That's a great one, and they are definitely using Targetable.
Shameless plug there for Targetable and one of the brands there. But I think we were probably less than $1,000 there, Rev, overall, and we blew it up. We got we reached nearly 200,000 people within 2 weeks. Within 2 weeks, we got a whole series of actions, including driving people to the store. So I'll come back to, if it's a launch situation, if it's a brand awareness situation, we tend to vary it up. You tend to spend a little bit more on launch and getting the brand awareness up. Once you kick into evergreen, typically $200 to $600 a month, depending on concepts. The question I often get around virtual brands is, do you spend less because you have 6 virtual brands, and do I divide my spend by 6? And the short answer is, do you want your brand to be successure?
Only 1/6 of the time.
Yeah, if you're going to try and take a limited budget and then spread it across 6 brands, you're doing this. You're not being very focused. But yeah, bear in mind, we're not focused on spending the most amount with you. We're trying to spend the right amount, and we love spending small amounts of money to get big results. So it isn't all just correlated to the amount of spend.
Well, along that, Sean here is asking, is any additional ideas for a grand opening for our virtual brand?
Yeah, actually, some of the ones I've seen, like, we could probably do a whole nother webinar on this. This is where you've got to be creative. You've got to capture the imagination. I've seen some wonderful creative around, XYZ brand is coming, or this idea is coming, all the way through to having cool little websites where you join up to be in the know, and if you're in the know, you will also get a special offer. The clever thing that you do there is you're actually getting someone to opt into a loyalty program, so you've already got them as a customer, so to speak, even before you launch. So there are plenty of techniques, but I think the thing you have to lean into most is awareness. Especially if the virtual brand either A, did not exist before because it's a new brand concept that's being launched, either nationally or locally. Or more importantly, you don't have that brand concept in your local market. You have to create the awareness. So you've got to kind of lean into, you've got to lean into that awareness. Now, the other thing is understand the particular brand or concept that you're putting together. If it's a barbecue-based brand, then you can get some pretty good data on what the demographics look like on your particular target market relative to a barbecue brand versus a wing brand versus a pizza concept, etc. So, yeah, we've got lots of grand opening playbooks, and it's one of the ones we love to do the most. The challenge is it's very different whether you're doing a grand opening for physical versus virtual. So you've got to really be in the top of mind for a virtual brand, because you've got to be in that moment when people are looking at their feed and looking at Instagram. What I will encourage everybody to do, and remember these words: lean into Instagram hard. Okay, the advertising demographic is moving depending on who your target audience is. Instagram is a very powerful technique, and people want to see what it is that you're offering, independent of whether you've launched it yet or not. So, does it look like it's sort of food I would really love? And that's a very important part, is just a visual experience.
Awesome. All right. Dennis is asking, I have multiple brands. What would you suggest? I would typically ask for a little bit more clarification on what you're asking us here, Dennis. But, Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, look, so I'll come back to, it's really understanding the brand and the concept, and also the goal. Are you launching a brand new brand, which is usually a heavier lift than I'm just leveraging a brand in a local market, and I'm just picking up the local virtual kitchen for a nationally renowned brand. If I'm Wow Bao, or I've got something similar, well, there's already a lot of national coverage. There's already a lot of brand awareness. All you're doing is saying Wow Bao is coming to. I'll use my Northern Virginia example. Apology to be a local, but it's Wow Bao is coming to Northern Virginia. And hey, Northern Virginia people in Fairfax County and Loudoun County, Wow Bao is coming. I would connect with the local audience and a local message. So it depends really whether you've got kind of a launch or leverage an existing brand. And then I would actually try and what I recommend is actually creating different offers, creating different concepts across your different brands, because you're starting to figure out what works across brands, rather than saying, I'm going to take the same creative idea and then just hit that with a variant, which is insert word wing, insert word pizza, insert word barbecue. That's not going to work. You've got to try and create some buzz and excitement around, hey, this is coming to town.
Yeah, I'm a fan too. If you have multiple concepts, going the virtual food hall route, so brand them under the one name. So the idea is, like, if they order from your taco concept, then you can market your chicken concept. But right. Then in that, you can be like, by the way, it's part of the same company. And the idea is now you're competing with Grubhub. You're not competing with other restaurants. You're creating a marketplace. So that's a good idea as well.
Yeah,
but Dennis,
and in that respect, you can actually lean in and double down. You can using a carousel ad in Facebook, you can have one brand in one image and another brand in another image, and it's all tied. And you can see, okay, they're in the same place, and I can kind of connect with that there. Especially if you're trying to hit the audience where, it's mom, dad, and two kids, and everybody wants a different piece of food, and you want to get it into the single order, and you are going through, and you do have an ability to deliver and do that.
All right. Well, Dennis is saying that he has 3 different pizza shops and 2 different names. Okay, so they're all serving the same cuisine. So it might be a little hard to market them together, because, like, why am I ordering from this one versus that one? That's a headache. But you could still pull the lookalike move. If one of those brands,
absolutely,
right? If one of those brands has a pretty strong fan base, you can pop that into Facebook and Instagram, work with Targetable, be like, find me people like this, or just target those people. You already know they like pizza. They don't have to know the brands are connected, but that would be a good move.
Yeah, and in which case I lean into the brand and the concept. If it's a Detroit style pizza, then lean into the attributes associated with Detroit style pizza. Use your lookalike audience, but also understand, who likes Detroit style pizza is a little different. So
yeah, and I don't know enough about the brands, but let's say that one of those brands does only gluten-free. It's an all gluten-free pizza shop. That's actually a pretty cool idea, where it's like, hey, it's our same shop, but if you're gluten-free, just order from there. It's all gluten-free. You're safe. You can, like, that's actually a pretty cool play. I would actually probably cross-market that. So again, it depends on a little bit more.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, guys, I said we'd be in here 30, 35 minutes. We're at the 45-minute mark. I don't want to keep you. Andrew doesn't want to keep you. If you have no other questions, we're going to let you go. If you did put your hand up and say, yes, you want to learn more about Targetable, we'll put you in touch with somebody that can answer your questions. If you're watching the replay of this, okay, if you're watching the replay of this and you're like, oh, I want to talk to somebody Targetable, you can reply to any email we sent you about this webinar, and somebody will get it and reply to you and get you in touch. Now, if you happen to be watching this during the summit and you want the book, the link is below, and you can click that and you can get it and get it right away. Andrew, anything else in closing here?
No, this is a great set of questions, and thanks for the audience and thanks for the participation. And if anybody would love to help, we'd love to come and play.
All right, God bless. Dennis, thank you. Kevin, thank you. Tiffany, you're welcome. John, it's great to see you guys. Everybody, I want you to make it a great, tasty day.